everybody to Stay Weird TV, episode 2. I'm Hassel, your host for the most. And we got Mr. Tofer Wescott. He is mask maker extraordinaire. He builds props, he builds busts, he does it all. Welcome today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, for those that might not, know your background a little bit, why don't you give us everybody a little rundown, so to speak, of kind of some of what you get forte is. And we see Jason obviously and Freddie behind you, so if that ain't cool to the most, I don't know what is.
Yeah, well, I pretty much Jason is my go-to guy. I started off making hockey masks and then transitioned that into controllers. Since everybody
Those
was
look really
making,
amazing, by the way.
yeah, like I had fun doing it, but like I just wanted something more. And then I picked up a sculpting kit and started making masks and was like, yep, this is what I love doing. And what am I on? Jason 9 now or 10? So I've got 2 more to go and I have the whole set.
Wow. So before you had got the sculpting kit, you hadn't ever really done any of that there? You were just primarily an artist, is that correct?
I wasn't an artist at all. Like, I mean, I like drawing every now and then, but yeah, I never sculpted really. I played with, Play-Doh as a kid and stuff. But like me and my wife were big fans of Face Off on TV and the watching those guys and stuff. And I was like, I want to try sculpting. And went Monster Makers, bought the kit with the head form and the clay and watched YouTube. And then became friends with Brandon Scott Murphy and blew him up. And he graciously enough was willing to give me all of his wisdom and helped me a lot. And I'm still going.
Dude, that is truly amazing to me because I've been following you for some time now. Because I'm still pissed that I missed out on that Roy controller. I'm gonna be honest. That was one that I was like, I was wanting that thing pretty bad. But so I've been following you for some time. So to me, the fact that you just kind of picked this up and free flowed and went with it and have become as accomplished as you are, that is truly amazing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I still get people asking me about controllers. I would still do them. It's just whenever the new Xbox came out, they added that stupid share button right where the chevron would go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that ruined it. And then I was like, there's no way I'm taking apart a PlayStation 5. That thing.
Yeah, I'm a PlayStation 5er myself, so that's I used to be Xbox, but I transitioned over.
Yeah, I got all of them, but
I was one of those guys for years that had to have each.
Mhm.
I started, Nintendo, PlayStation, all that good stuff, but then I got really into Xbox for a while there, and then I don't know, I went back to my roots. I'm a PlayStationer now.
Well, I have to keep both because there's so many games where you got to have one or the other to play.
Don't that suck that they do that whole, we're going to stay with this brand or exclusives, so to speak. I know what they're doing. They're selling systems. So, how long did it take you with your first piece when you first said, okay, I'm going to do this? How long did it take you before you felt like, okay, damn, I'm pretty good at this?
I'm still not there. uh, like I when I finished that first one, I was like, this isn't that bad. And I had people that were like, it's ridiculous that this is your very first sculpt. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, it's okay. But then like I would see other people's first sculpts and kind of be like, okay, maybe this is pretty good, you know. But like even now when I do something, I'm like, there are things I wish I would have done differently, but like, you got to get to a point where it's like, all right, I got to stop or I'm just going to keep working on it forever. But yeah, like whenever I went back and resculpted, because the first one I ever did was part 3, Jason. That's my favorite. And whenever I went back and redid it after, having a couple of years under my belt, I was just like, there's a big difference. Like there are things that I was like way off on, and it's like now having some experience, it was like it looked good, but like now it's even better. And that's the thing with a lot of these. Like I waited on doing the part seven, and that's why I kind of was waiting to do everything in order because like I didn't want to mess up part seven. I had like a certain vision, and after having so much, doing all the other ones and getting experience, I wanted to make sure I did it the way I wanted it, and that one I'm pretty happy with. But yeah, I, I'm still I still look at things and go, it could be better.
I'm gonna give you major cool points alone just for part three being your favorite because that is also my favorite as well as far as the look of the character and some of the movements and whatnot. I really that's a very underrated one. Doesn't get the love it should due to the I guess the cheesiness of the 3D effects they tried to implement. It doesn't transfer over well today, but that's actually cool points for that. I mean, and you've come a long way. I mean, when you can say I just picked this up as something I wanted to do and now you're kind of brushing elbows with the WWE and Terrifier and all these people. It's a pretty damn long road there, brother.
Yeah, like it was just a hobby, really. And it slowly picked up, and then my wife was just like, just go full time, create a website, and it just really snowballed. Things escalated quickly.
I see this. I see this. So you said part three is your favorite Jason, as far as I guess aesthetics and look and whatnot. Which is your favorite Freddy?
Oh, part one, yeah. That I'm only sculpting one Freddy, and that's that one. Um, and I wanted to do majority of part one look,
Mm-hmm.
um, but like I wanted it to keep it so that I knew it was mine when I see it pop up somewhere. That's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with like I originally started sculpting. I wanted it to be as accurate as possible to movies, but then something shifted, and I was like, you know what, being as accurate as possible is nice, but like I want to be able to notice it, and be like, that's mine.
Yeah.
Because if it is 100% accurate to the movie, it's just going to kind of blend in with the crowd. I want to be able to be like, yeah, that's definitely mine. And with the Freddy, I I had major things. I wanted it to resemble the burns from part one, and I wanted it to at least look like Robert in makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
Yeah, it's an amazing match, and I think all artists kind of have that tail sign. 'Cause I know, I've talked to Anders a few times. He's the premier Freddy glove builder, and he's always like people can always just look and say, "Oh, this is Anders glove." So the
Mhm.
fact that they could just look at this and say, "Oh, this is Tofer's," yeah, that's pretty badass, dude. I'm gonna be honest, I love part one's look, but part two, I don't know why the Jaeger what he did in part two that is the most demonic, evil looking version of Freddy. While that's not the best installment, so to speak, but the look of him, I don't know what it is. It stands out to the rest to me. But
I think the reason I like part one, I like the makeup on part one the best for me because of just the way that the burns look.
he
Like
still has
each
some
has,
char look to him in spots.
yeah, that plus like each has like a certain pattern to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like with like two and all the other ones, they're just kind of good. Like they just kind of
Mm-hmm.
blend together. This
Yeah,
is like
especially by three.
right, yeah. Like this one, there's like certain things where you could be like, that's definitely a part one makeup, or a
Mm-hmm.
mask. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I think we said the only reason they abandoned away from it after that one was because it was so difficult for continually for it to be exactly the same each one
Right.
because of the
Yeah.
goop and all the fun stuff they done. And I see you've done some superhero masks. I want to give you props on that Deadpool X Force one. I was looking at it again last night and I was like, man, that is such an amazing mask. And I am someone with a big head. So anytime I see one that's like and it's fittable for like our size heads, I'm like, Oh man, I get popped.
Yeah. Well, I didn't sculpt that one. That one I get like I'm part of a Patreon, and pretty much all the 3D printed stuff, with the exception of the Hush mask or the Shush mask that I do. Um, I get the files off the internet and print them. I don't like selling um, those, like the helmets and stuff, because like I said, it's hard unless you're standing here and I like scan your head and like fit it.
Yes.
It's hard. Like I'm not gonna spend 28 hours printing a helmet, painting it, and send it to you and be like, it doesn't fit. It's like, what am I supposed to do then?
Yeah.
Like I'm that's clearly, I mean, that's strictly just a collection for my wall. But yeah, it the the Deadpool mask have given me some issues.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I've tried printing them. Oh, that's like my fourth iteration. Like I've had some issues printing them. They're very difficult with all that texture. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm definitely done printing those.
So he is retired from Deadpool, people. So don't bother him. You do busting stuff as well now, correct?
Um, I do like anytime I sculpt something, I 3D scan it and then I
Mm.
make a 6-inch version of it with like shirt
Yeah.
and the hockey mask and stuff. Because I have a lot of people that love what I do, but they just don't have the room for like the full size stuff. So they love the 6-inch stuff where they can put it like on a mantle and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that those are resin printed. Um, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, the Freddy is not wearable. He's a bust. And then the Uber Jason, he's a bust only.
That's actually a badass look. Because we never see him without the mask in the actual the movie itself. But there's been concept art and so forth and so on, and you have captured that amazingly well.
The Uber Jason?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. When they released that footage of what it was gonna look like in the game, I was like, I'm doing that.
Yeah,
I
that
was
that's badass.
I used to be friends with the guys that got that whenever I was doing the controllers, I uh I sent them a couple of controllers and I was just like, dude, I sent uh Ronnie, I think his name was. I can't remember. I was like, dude, I'm still in that for my bust, and he was like, go ahead. I was like, I got to get that before someone else sculpts it.
Have you had a chance to show it off to Kane?
I had a customer of mine take it and have him sign the bust, and Kane was like, "That's cool." I was like, "That's cool." I love when
Yeah,
customers.
he's awesome people too. Cause like we went to Atlanta Days of the Dead just like the weekend before last, and we shared the elevator with him, and he signed my hawk a few times. I had actually took it there because I thought CJ was going to be there to get him on there, but yeah, he was like the first time I had actually met him there, and I had my hawk in my hand. I didn't even see him. He snuck up behind me, just snatched my hawk, and walks off, and I was like, the fuck. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, that's Kane Hodder. And he just like goes back to his table, like, just nonchalant. He's, oh, this is yours? I was like, yeah, yeah. He's cool, dude. We met him on a couple of occasions now. He's always very gracious with the fans. Well, I was kind of curious of, he's a personable person.
I've met him a couple times, not with that, and but yeah, I've had a customer show him it before and record a video and send it to me.
So, like I said, I know we can't kind of get into too much in Terrifier, but you actually take and upscale the mask for or upgrade the mask for people as well, correct? About the version that's out there that people are buy. I've seen online where you've kind of took before and after photos.
Oh no. That I All right. So I sculpted 3 different versions of my own art.
Okay.
Um, Whenever right before 2 came out, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
when 2 came out, I did 2 of the frown, the 2 of the the smiley, and then I did 1 of the frowny. Um, face, and I sold those for a while, and then I just got tired of making them. Like I was selling them like crazy, but I ended up selling them off to I sold the frowny and one of the smile to one artist and the other one to a different artist. Now the thing I was posting recently was one of the um, Tinsley transfers. I just um, fixed the eyes and stuff in it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, it's actually pretty badass looking.
dude, that mask is like spot on. They actually did the makeup for our N3. So like
Oh wow,
all that mask is made from their prosthetic pieces that they put on him. So it's like
yeah, how cool is that?
yeah,
So with the success of the new one, how often do you get hit up to do art stuff now?
a lot, yeah. But I'm like I just message, I just copy and paste the guys where I sold the rights to my other mask. I'm like, just message them. They'll make you one of my old ones. Like my buddy Joe Gallo, 13 Gallows Lane, he still has one of my original Art the Clown masks that he, cosplays and does really cool photos and stuff with.
So do you still do hockey mask and whatnot and stuff, or do you just primarily do the
I
underless?
Nope, I just do latex. I hate hockey masks. I do the hockey mask for the little 6-inch bus, um, but that's about it. I used to do um, I did all the I helped Brandon Scott Murphy whenever Never Hike Alone was doing their Indigo campaign. I helped him. We did all the Kickstarter, the Indigo backer hawks, the ghost hawks. We did all those. Did over 80 something hawks. And then I did a lot of the backer hawks for the Jason Rising fan film. And after that, I was just so burnt out on doing hockey masks. I was like, I'm done. I no, I don't like doing hockey masks because it's paint, spray paint, and plastic is so finicky. Like
Yeah,
it's just you can have 7 masks all the same and spraying down the line, and 2 or 3 will just mess up on you for no reason. Even all same conditions, and it's just those are ruined. It's like what happened? Latex spray paint. I mean, just spraying latex, it always comes out great, and it's just this is my passion. People ask me all the time, "Can you do me a hockey mask?" And I have a buddy named Matt Dennis, Machete Man Customs. He's your guy. Like he actually he's bought some of my older sculpts that I don't produce anymore, like Ghost Jason, Dead White, some of the stuff that I've passed on to him. He's learning how to do what I'm doing, and he also does hockey masks. Um, so whenever someone orders, part 4 or something, and they're asking, "Can I get a part 4 hawk?" I'm like, "Hit up my buddy," and he does the hawks for
here's the
them. So,
companion piece to go along with this piece.
yep, we tag team it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Speaking of tag team, you're a big WWE fan as well, correct?
I am. Me and my son love it.
So who's your current favorite superstar?
Oh God. Well, I mean, Yeet, obviously, right now.
Uh,
So, but I mean, LA Knight, you can't go wrong with. I mean, Raw's just killing it right now. I'm a little sad that they, had to drop it down to 2 hours, but I'm excited for Netflix. It's gonna be something.
that there I am really excited for because I think we're gonna get a little more attitude era-ish return, with the edginess, so to speak. Honestly, I guess because I watch so much wrestling each week, I found it a little. I found like the 2 hour Raw this past week a little more refreshing. Like it was just, it didn't seem as drawn out, as the previous episodes have been. Which is one of the reasons I thought SmackDown was, doing a better job each week myself. But
Yeah, I'm on
sometimes
the
the
other
3 hours too much to me.
I'm on the other team. I think 3 hours is perfect because I like the everything feels when it's just 2 hours. I feel like everything's rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just constantly like hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And with the 3 hours, everybody has time to talk. And just matches actually are more than 2 hours or 2 minutes. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there you get more story development. And I feel like with it going back to 2 hours, you're not going to see much of the Wyatts. Like
Yeah, they were
that.
mysteriously just not even there this past week. You got a couple of I guess buzzy spots that they do, but it was like I was like, wow, you just had a huge 6-man tag with them the week before, and then they're nowhere this week.
Mhm.
It was,
Yeah. Well, they did put up that thing about their yard and miss, so I'm curious to see what that's about.
yeah, I will say I do like the way they do the premium live events now. Like they, even though it's only like 6 matches typically, each match has time. That was one of the things I
Yeah.
think I missed the most out of some of the '90s wrestling. Like you'd have 20-minute matches, 30-minute matches, and they had time to develop the story of the and give you the ring psychology, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. My son was like this last PLE. He's like, there's only 5 matches. I was like, yeah. I remember they've changed it. Each match is longer now, so
Mm.
And he's like, oh yeah. And at first it was like, wow, there's only 5 matches, but like I like longer matches because then
Mm.
you get more invested in who's gonna win, than it just
What
like
did you
wham.
think of the Punk McIntyre Hell in the Cell?
Dude, that was so sick. It
I
was
love they
good.
stayed in the cell. They didn't escape. Like it done what a cell does. It keeps them there.
Yeah. Well, I could have swore someone was climbing. I never noticed those footholes in the chain link.
Yeah.
Like when they were in there the night before, or on whenever they were in there just talking. I never noticed that they had like holes in the chain. I was like, somebody's climbing.
Yeah,
I
it was
was
a
mad.
nice.
They should have let that be the main event though. Like
Oh, dude, it stole the show. It stole the
it did.
show. Like as good as Cody and Roman were at the end, because Roman just has that presence about him. But yeah, that was by far the match of the night.
Hmm.
It sucked. We were in Atlanta, and I when I bought tickets to Days of the Dead, and then I went ahead and bought tickets to Necro World for Saturday night. Not even dawning on me that was there that at the weekend. And then we were sitting there at the hotel Saturday afternoon. Me and my wife were, and I was like, how Bad Blood's like literally like 2 minutes down the road from where we are, right? And so we could get some tickets. And she's like, well, we done bought tickets to Necro World. And I was like, but it is hell to sell. And like the closer to the event, like I was on the edge all the way up to the end. I was like, look, I get some tickets for less than $200 each right now. Come on. But we're in a Necro World, but it's what it is. So have you been like a wrestling fan your whole life? Like, were you there for during the Monday Night Wars?
I I watched wrestling. I would like. I remember Hogan. British Bulldog, and then um, there was a gap, but then I was whole Attitude Era. But then I left whenever Stone Cold Rock left, like the whole John Cena era. I was out. Uh, but
You,
then
you dodged a bullet there.
yeah, like the whole 2020 thing, I missed all that too. So like I recently came back just before Bray did. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and just sucked right back into it. Yeah,
So
full on.
the fiend just kind of put his claws in you and drug you back, huh?
Well, it was after the Fiend. Like
Oh, you talking about his last return?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Right before Extreme Rules, I got sucked back into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You follow AEW any or?
No, my buddy Matt watches AEW and he's tried to get me into it, and there's no story. It's just I'm like I can't get into it.
I watch it each week, and they have some amazing matches. This is like, one of our fellow Stay Weird network members is Chris Taylor. He is huge on AEW, and I enjoy the product. This is one of the conversations he and I have had a few times. It's like you don't have the development there. You just have
Mhm.
like 5-star Meltzer matches, but you don't have that, drama, so to speak.
Yeah, I started watching NXT, so like with SmackDown, Raw, NXT, I'm like, my week is full. Like, I ain't got time for AEW.
It adds up to a lot at the end of the week. My wife, I think she's, God bless her, she's a saint. She puts up with me, and she'd be like, "Wait, what night is it?" Okay, because she knows, like, I got my wrestling nights, then there's football. Especially this time of year, we don't get to watch a whole lot of regular TV.
Yeah, well, my wife is also a saint. She originally just started watching it just to be in the room with me and my son because like
That's support
me and
system right there.
yeah, my son is, newly teenagered. So like
Oh,
we don't really have much in common. So this new surge in wrestling kind of gave us a thing.
mm,
So like this is our new thing and she loves like witnessing it. So she would just sit and watch it with us. But now she's low key invested in it. It's like she knows who people are. Like she's a big fan of certain people. She loves the comedy aspect of it, and she gets invested in the storyline. So like she's there for all the PLEs. Like she's invested. So
ain't it
it's fun.
great when they kind of like become closet fans? Like they don't want to come out and admit it, but they're like, you catch them during the show, and they're like, "Now why did they do that right there?" And you're like, "Oh, but I mean, if you don't care." My wife's the same way. I get a kick out of her. She
Yep,
uh
she's
she, she
definitely
doesn't
invested.
understand the showmanship sometimes. We went to a event in Jacksonville, and there were some indies there. It was at an autograph signing with some big stars, and there were some indies there, and they're not as polished as sometimes. She spotted something in a man. I like to never heard the end of that. Like for 2 days, she's like, "Did you see that woman?" I was like, "Baby, it's entertainment. It's no different than a movie. I mean, you know the movie's fake, but you enjoy it. It's the
That's
ride."
great. Yeah, yeah. We me and her the following day we like to go on TikTok and watch like the TikTok reactions
Mm.
from like the couple of different people. It's like our thing to do in the morning. Like she likes to see their reactions to it. I was just like, I like where we're at. It's pretty fun. Like I enjoy wrestling, but now I'm pretty sure she's up there. Like
That's what's
would,
up right here.
yeah.
So staring back into the horror realm, obviously you're a major Freddy Jason guy, and Art as well. What are some other franchises that are like your go to? Like if you want to sit down on a Friday night and SmackDown wasn't on, say, or Saturday night, what would be like? Okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch this. What are some of the kind of horror movies that you go into?
Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I really I I love the original, but I also love the 2003 remake.
Oh God,
Uh,
yes.
that's like one of my favorite to cosplay as.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
Tommy myself. I used to chase people with a chainsaw every Halloween with a Tommy. So
the original, I mean, just he's not as scary as the remake to me, in
mm.
my opinion. Um, and then I love Sam. Sam is another one. Trick or Treat. Um,
Oh yes.
I have like a whole section of my living room. It's just nothing but Sam.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Pinhead. I love Pinhead and Michael. Just Mount Rushmores.
What did you think of the soft reboot series for
Of
Michael?
Hellraiser. Oh, Michael. I I like the first two. The
That's
end.
the general consensus.
Yeah. Ends was there were issues, big issues.
My
I
wife,
was,
she got to the point where I think she hated it because like part one and two are yeah, well, they're part one and two. You know, the 2018 and then Kills. I would watch them on repeat, like loop. I loved both of those. Like it was 2018 for the longest. Then when Kills came out, I was like, I'd rewatch it over and over and over. It was just so unstoppable. And then yeah, so when Ends comes, we were excited. Or she wasn't excited as I was, but you know, we were sitting there and we watched it one time. I barely made it through there, but I forced myself to get through it, and I was just like, ever again. I no longer hate on part three anymore because like I've done finally come to terms. Okay, that's just a different anthology. It's what it was meant to be. I can enjoy that one separately now, but yeah, that's ooh that kills. I mean, ends is it's rough.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't even like to talk about it.
So, is there any other characters you've thought about? You know, like because obviously you have mastered Freddy Jason pretty well. Is there any others that you've thought about? You know what? I kind of want to start venturing into this character, or are you kind of allowed to say? Or
The Crow is one of my favorite movies of all time, the original. And I do want to make my own Eric bust, like full size, life size. But that, like, I haven't really thought much past that. I'm just still just trying to get past Jason. Like I know I have two more, maybe three left. Um, my what I really would like to do is get out of the wearables and just
mm,
do like display only stuff. Because like I'm so jealous of a lot of artists where they just go to all these horror conventions and like display all their stuff, and having wearables makes it really hard to have like a stock.
mm,
There's so many options per item that like I don't know how to do that,
yeah,
and not only that, but like from a sculpting aspect, I have so many more ideas where it would be freeing to not have to worry about it fitting someone. Or like when you sculpt something wearable, it's always like straight looking, with like a kind of an open expression, and if it's not going to be worn, you can turn the head and put, a look to it. That's what I really want to do. But switching to not to display only would be a huge chunk of my business. And I just don't know if I'm ready for that
mm.
or not.
How much longer is the process on say the wearable versus the non-wearable? Like I know you said you get a lot more creative freedom with the non-wearable. Is the process longer with that or shorter? Or
Well, um, no, I mean they're about the same. It's just with a wearable, you leave an eye open, or you know you have to cut out the mouth or the nose and stuff like
mm,
that. With like display only, you glue the eyes in. You don't cut out the nose, the ears, or anything like that. I don't foam fill any of my stuff. Um, I feel like that's just a waste. Um, they're they stand up if you stuff them with bags pretty easily, and a lot of people just use like a paper towel holder just to like sit it on. So, and like foam is expensive, and
yeah.
I try to keep these relatively cheap, and foam filling them is just gonna jack the price up. The only thing that I foam
So when
fill
you're
is
talking
my
about foam filling, are you talking about more of the expandable foam or actually like cutting the foam, shaping the foam?
no, the expandable foam, like this guy.
Okay, I got
Yeah, the only thing I foam fill is the Uber Jason because of how his head is
you. Mm,
shaped. The first one I did, I tried just stuffing it, but it like pushed out the head and made it so that the helmet wouldn't fit right. So he's the only one that gets foam filled, but he's a lot more pricey than the rest of these.
See, I hadn't
But
thought about doing it. Like I got a Michael displayed over here, and then I got, my Tommy obviously displayed because it was a fairly expensive mask. But I just kind of I got the styrofoam head, just kind of put some extra Walmart bags in there. Honestly,
yeah, that's what I usually tell people. I mean, shopping bags, they work just as good as foam. I mean, stuff it out. Plus, like when you foam fill something, it's going to increase the weight. So then you got to
yeah,
pay extra for shipping. So that's a lot of people think they want foam filled, but you know, when you think about all the extra cost, you don't.
yeah. Oh no, shipping is you can spend as much in shipping as you can on the item sometimes, depending on what it is. I've recently become an eBay shipper, and yeah, it's ooh, you don't realize what you cut into on your cost.
Yep.
So tell everybody where they can find you at for any of those that are out there that want to look you up. Not for hockey mask, folks, but for mask. Where can they find you at?
Easy. A new kind of fear.com is my website. Or just a new kind of fear customs on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, TikTok. I have all of it.
Okay.
So yeah,
He's very accessible, people, because I aggravate the hell out of him on Instagram a good bit. So and he's extremely friendly guy. Any big projects on the horizon that you can discuss, or
no, I just finished the pre-Uber Jason. He's ready to go. I have a huge back order that I'm trying to like cut down, get knock him out. Plus, my wife just started her. She's 3 weeks into her chemo for breast cancer, so I'm like, I don't want to compile on by. He's on my website because coming soon. So I know a lot of people are like, I want to buy him, but I'm not ready to turn it on yet.
mm. No, that's quite the
But
journey
yeah,
you guys are on. So thoughts and prayers on that right there.
I
My
appreciate
grandmother's
it.
a survivor, so I believe me, that's soft spot in my heart.
I appreciate it. But yeah, no, I mean that's once he goes live, I'm gonna start on verses. Maybe I might wait until she's done with her treatments. That might be a couple more months, but
Yeah,
yeah,
probably
verses is
smart
gonna be
move.
the next one. Yeah, I'm really excited to do verses, so
All
that's
right,
gonna
well,
be
I appreciate you being here on my regular show with my co-host Monster. We do a little segment called Nerd Out at the end of the show, which is where we had to throw a question out of somebody unprepared, and you gotta just flow with it. So I'm gonna hit you with one of those before we close out.
all right.
So if you could reboot any franchise, what would be your rebootable franchise, and what would be the setting of it?
Reboot any franchise.
Soft, hard, complete redo, however you want to do it.
God, that's hard because like what hasn't been rebooted? Uh, uh, man, I don't know. I What's coming into my head is The Mask by Jim Carrey.
That could be interesting right there.
Yeah, like but like an updated version.
I
Like
got you.
yeah.
But do you at least have a nod to Jim Carrey in there? Like, does Jim make a cameo in it at some point?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Cool points there, brother. Well, I sure appreciate you being here today. We can't thank you enough. Check this guy out. Go check out all the socials. He just give them to you, so they're here. And there you go. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
later.